for me, it's one of the reasons that I really appreciate being non-monogamous is that it has removed my need to pick a side, kind of. So right now, my live-in partner that I've been with for 7 years is a white, cis, hetero, mostly hetero man. And as I look to the future and I look at what I want my family to look like, what I want my, if I ever have kids, what would those look like? What would that be like? Because of my politics and because of my interest in building community with fellow queer and trans and people of color, I was thinking, if I were monogamous, would I still want to be in a relationship with a white man and build a family with a white man? Even if I love them very much, is that the kind of family that I want to build? And so for me, being non-monogamous has allowed me to not have to make that choice, because I can be in this relationship and I can have a multitude of other relationships, and I can center my politics and I can center queer people, trans people, people of color, without having to give up on this relationship that is really meaningful and important and healing for me. So that's a big part of it for me, and sort of how it intersects with my identity as a person of color.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Is that like thinking about if you were monogamous and would you choose to be in a relationship with a cis white man? Is that like coming from a perspective of making the personal political, like what you put your personal energies into and stuff?
Yeah, in part, and also just who do I want as my family? And for me right now where I am, I really want to highlight, uplift, and center other queer and trans folks and people of color. And my partner is none of those. that living partner is none of those things. And so, thankfully I don't have to make that choice.
And you were going to say something else as well, I think.
Oh, yeah. A lot of polyamory spaces are really white. And that is really unfortunate and a problem. And it's not because people of color are not doing non-monogamy. Sometimes we just don't call it polyamory. Polyamory is a word that I, as a youth growing up, had never heard. And I think part of that is just due to now there's more mainstream media covering it. Now there's more education. But I definitely had heard of families where there were multiple people involved, and we just didn't have a term for it necessarily. So I think that a big part of that divide is linguistic. But I think that people of color and communities of color have been doing non-monogamy in a variety of ways since the dawn of time. It's not a white people thing. It's not a new thing. And so for me, it's really important that people of color who are polyamorous be as visible as possible. And again, keeping safety in mind. But I've encountered a lot of organizers for events that either think that there are no POC that are polyamorous, or just don't have an investment in bringing them to the table.
Right, it's too hard.
Exactly. Too hard to find them. They don't exist. If they were, if they wanted to come here, they could just come to our meetups or whatever. I'm like, well, if you don't make it welcoming, if you don't advertise where communities of color congregate, why would we know about you?
Right.
Why do we have to seek you out? You should be also working to make yourself more inviting to us. So that's another place where it intersects in terms of who we see in the media. Mostly, it's the same picture. It's usually, a polyamorous couple or a triad, and mostly white, and usually cisgender. And so a lot of those things are, the pictures of mainstream polyamory are not the pictures that I live on a day-to-day basis. So it can be really alienating to not see yourself represented. And so that's why I'm very invested in representation and speaking up and trying to build community with fellow queer and trans folks and people of color.
Awesome.